So happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Exciting day. Just want to jump in here and do a quick review on the scalping trade that we had this morning, as well as taking a look at the gold trade signal that was dropped in as well. Had some pretty good results from that this morning. If you're in the private group, in our private group and part of enrolled into our academy, you would have been able to take advantage of both of those opportunities. Again, just some things we've got going on. If you don't know me, my name's Forrest Knight, social media marketing strategist, coach, trader, 50 pluser as I call myself. In the closer to 100 than I am to zero, so I'll just put it that way, right? And on a mission to help other 50 plusers create a really cool side hustle income that doesn't require any recruiting or selling or any of that kind of stuff. Just have to get enrolled into academy, copy off the smart kids, and make a little bit of extra cash. Got a if you want to call my co-host on this afternoon, Mr. Martin, good friend, been trading for a while. So we're going to jump right in. So a couple of things to note. One, about 3.5 years ago, I got involved or started learning how to trade, which was an absolute blessing, and went through just a lot of stuff, and then some stuff. Anyway, back to today. There's multiple different things that you can do in trading. A lot of people say, I don't want to sit in front of a screen all day. I don't either. Matter of fact, I don't. I do about 20 minutes of screen time. That's about it. Maybe 30 minutes tops. But eventually you'll get to that point. In the meantime, as you're learning how to maximize that 30 minute time frame, is you can copy off the smart kids and make a little bit of money. I'm going to show you how that works. So on our schedule, when you're enrolled in the academy, we have a live scalping as long as there's not a holiday or something going on, Monday through Friday. At 8:30, actually 8:25 a.m. Central Standard Time. You get on, you're on there maximum, maybe 15-20 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer. And that's for US 30. If you'd like to jump on a scalp with us and do the NAS 100, which I truly love, right? That is a Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 8:20 a.m. Central Standard Time. So you have those two options. You can do one or other, or swap around and do both. And then, of course, we just have regular classes and all that kind of stuff. Matter of fact, we've got a boot camp going on right now for basic Forex stuff on how to use our AI bot and incorporate that in and take trade ideas from our AI bot and incorporate those in to have wins as well. So we've got that going on. So there's a lot that you can get involved in. Then we have a stock options course that you can get enrolled in. There's a futures deal you can plug into. There's a indices platform that you can plug into. And of course, there is the awesome crypto platform that's absolutely phenomenal you can plug into. So there's a lot depending on what you want to do. We're not going to cover all that today. I'm just going to go over a couple of trades here, talk a little bit about scalping, right? And how I scalp. Now, there's a billion different traders out there. I'm not the most experienced guy in the world. Again, I'm not here to give you financial advice. You can see the disclaimer scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for everyone. Just basically put, if you don't want to lose money, don't trade. Put it right there. The cool thing about learning how to trade is you can learn how to trade with a demo account. In other words, the broker's free, all the software is free, everything is free. All you got to do is show up and enroll into the academy, which is not free, but it's a very, very affordable monthly tuition. They can get that set up for. And if you have the mindset to hang around for a couple of months and get it down, you can learn how to make a little bit of extra money along with being able to copy off the smart kids, which I'm going to show you here that you can do. So, and of course, you can come and hang out with some cool people like me and Bill and Martin and quite a few other people that are in our club here, which is pretty neat. So I think there's about 16,000 of us in this group right now. And we're just a small group. We're not all 16,000. It's our little nice quiet team here. Our smaller team is not anywhere near 16,000, but it's very, very helpful to help people grow. So let me do a screen share. We're going to talk about scalping, right? Screen share. And like I said, there's multiple different people that do multiple different ways. You could probably go out and look for scalping US 30, scalping gold, scalping whatever, and you're going to get 1,000 different YouTube videos with 1,000 different people telling you 1,000 different ways. You just have to find something that works for you. So this was this morning at 8:30, right? You jumped on at 8:30. You get in the market, you look at candles, you see where they're going. The gentleman that leads the 8:30, he calls out, he runs on the 5-minute chart. I went on a 1-minute chart because I like to be a little bit ahead, right? So he runs on the 5-minute chart, but he calls out the buy nows and the get ins and the get outs, basically, if you want to call it like that. He says entering now, and he tells you basically when to get in and when to get out. He says, if this candle does this and it does that, then you need to get in here, right? And it really is a open the trade, you're in there, close the trade, right? You want to get in, get out, get in, get out. It's a very, very quick move. One of the things that I have a tendency to do is not scalp against the trend. And this, again, this is the 1 minute chart. I went back and I'm not going to teach you how to do a trend right now. Matter of fact, Ralph in our boot camp did a really, really good training today. So if you are in economy and you didn't catch that class, I'd highly recommend, because he talks about how to check out a trend and how to enter on a trend. And I do the same thing. I go all the way out to the 4 hour. I take a look at the trend. Overall, US 30 is trending up. So in scalping, you have some options. Again, this is 1 minute. There's a lot of money right here, right? I'm not saying not to do this. It's totally up to your call how you trade, but I like to go with the trend. I also, if you'll notice, I've got some yellow zones on here and some arrows and things in here, but I've got a couple of zones in here that I went and I sort of back tested, went up to a larger time frame and I back tested. And I said, well, if price comes to here and it breaks through here, it's probably going to come to here because there's another candle that's a little bit next zone. So this was a spot that I entered here into a scalp. Not to say I didn't scalp that here, but I sort of scalped pretty much for a little bit in the morning. So this was from 9 o'clock to about 9:13. So about another 13 minutes in there. There's a few minutes in here. And then, of course, the live that I did this morning in the group, I said that if it breaks here, it's going to go to here. That if it breaks here, this is going to go to here. And I went ahead and entered a little mini US 30 trade right here. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just telling you, when you learn this, you can see this because there was a zone right here. So I entered just as this candle broke, right? And I teach this. My EMA is just wide open at this point. And I went ahead and put my take profit at the bottom of the zone. You can see it went up here. It drew back down a little bit, came a little bit crazy, came up here, boom, and hit my take profit. Now I've got a stop loss on here so I don't lose on my bank. And just for transparency, you don't want to scalp with a small account. You want to have a nice sizable account if you're going to scalp, to give you room for leverage and margin on your broker. I'm going to leave that right there. We're going to talk about this stuff over here in just a minute. But again, this is the scalping trade. Nice little move here in this. Let's see, that was 55 pip move. So in terms of scalping, if you want to go out and figure out a 55 pip move on a US 30, let's say at one lot size or two lot sizes, that's a pretty nice little move there, nice little income move in that strategy. So this is something that you can learn, right? This is something that you can learn if you get enrolled. And again, if you're not in the Academy platform, come and hang out. We'll teach you how to use the EMAs. We'll teach you how to use the MACDs. We'll teach you how to use Fibonacci pivot points, all kinds of fun stuff along. And that's what I teach. And then, of course, we've got the opportunity to plug into. And I'm not an official educator, employer, or anything of economy. I just want to throw that out there. There's just me. I'm a trader that uses their stuff, and I incorporate it into my stuff to help me win. So I just want to say that I'm not an employee of economy. I'm not working there. I'm not an educator. I'm just a guy that's been learning how to trade for the last couple of years. So I want to throw that in there as a disclaimer, right? So that is US 30. You can see there's a lot of moves in here, right? And scalping is just a matter of you understanding when to get in and when to get out. Maybe you could have got in here at 10 o'clock and ran right up to 10:22 for 22 minutes. That would have been a nice little move. But you got to know when to get in and out, looking at the MACD, looking at my EMA, looking at my Heikin-Ashi candles, when to get in and get out, right? Again, another little nice move here. This was noon. You see the spike. There was some news that came out at noon, so there was a nice little spike candle. You wait for that. EMA cross. Again, MACD above my zero line. There's just a lot of confirmation tools here saying, okay, I can get in. Again, this is a 1 minute. We're talking 12:07 to 12:14, 7 minute move right there. Nice little bit of money. So you don't have to sit in front of the charts all the time. You just have to find a time that's going to be available to you. Maybe this is your lunch break. Maybe you're going to jump in and take a look at what US 30 does on lunch. Again, there's a whole gaggle of stuff that you can trade. There's the NAS, there's there's just a ton of things that you can go out there and trade. So that is that. Let's jump over and take a look at gold. So this is the gold trade that was dropped this morning. Now, this is a copy trade, right? When you get enrolled, so don't go try and find this group. You're not going to be able to access this group because it's not available to the public. So you have to actually be enrolled into the Academy to get access to this Telegram group to get these signals. You can't get it anywhere else without being enrolled, right? So once you're enrolled, you can take part of this. And we know, and here's the reason I'm going to explain all this stuff over here in just a second. We know as soon as this was dropped at 8:50 this morning, the very first thing I did. So I'm going to train a little bit here for the people that are in economy, right? You've got your broker set up, whether you're on a demo account or a live account, right? You've got your broker set up. As soon as this trade signal hits, and he usually puts a little note in here. Let me see if he did it. Yeah, he didn't do it that time. But as soon as that, a lot of times he'll just put buy XAU USD, then he'll come back and edit this, or he'll say sell, right? So the second you see that notification pop up on your phone, you immediately go over to your MetaTrader. I use MetaTrader 5. I immediately go over to MetaTrader, and since this was a buy, I hit the buy button, right? Don't put any numbers in. I simply hit the buy. And once it's running, I can then come back, right, and hit the modify button on the trade that's running in my MetaTrader 5 on my phone, or if you're using desktop, you can do it whatever, but I use my phone. I would then come back and enter in which profit level that I want it to go to. We know that the take profit level 1 has an 85% win ratio. Take profit 2, matter of fact, let me back into this. I'm going to show you how I track this, right? I track everything so that I know what the heck I'm doing. So I'm sharing this. So this is, again, this isn't, I'm going to say past performance doesn't guarantee future results. So just want you to know these are the numbers that I use, that I tracked going back to October. I may have missed a couple of trades in there, but for most of the part, this is everything on these gold trades that come in that are like this. And I know out of the last 76 of them, 64 of them hit the TP1 position. I track the average drawdown in pips, and I know that 84% of the time they're going to hit TP1, 76% of the time they're going to hit 30 pips, 60% of the time they're going to hit 50 pips in TP2. And then I just started tracking the 75 pip range. And then, of course, the TP3 is the last 16 times it's hit that. I'm sorry, it's 36 times. Yeah, 36 times out of the 76, which gives me a 47% win ratio on TP3. So you can take the math and do whatever you want to with it, depending on how you set that up, right? You got to make sure that you understand and work smart to be able to trade. So what happened with this trade this morning? Immediate entry here, came back and hit take profit 1. I didn't put the 30 pips in here, but it's right in between here. So the first move from entry to here is 20 pips. From the 20 pip position to TP2 is another 30 pips. So TP2 from entry is 50 pips. And of course, here's the 75 pip range here. And then this is 100 pips. So 100 pips every time this drops. That's pretty cool, right? Nothing to have small change about. So the way it would work is you get enrolled into the academy, you sit down, and we teach you how to set your broker up and how to enter these. So again, just to recap on how this works to copy these trades, so you have a general idea. Is this something I want to do? This drops into Telegram. And again, this is going to move over to an app, which is even cooler. The app has been released, so they're going to incorporate, get off of Telegram altogether, which I like. So it'll come directly onto an app that you can copy directly from, which can be pretty cool. So the first thing you do as soon as the signal hits, it's a buy or sell. You just open up your MetaTrader on your phone, hit the gold, hit the gold indice button, hit the trade button, hit buy or sell, depending on which one it's entered here. Then you're going to go back and you're going to modify it and enter in your TP1, your TP2, or your TP3, depending on where you want to go. That's completely up to you. If you want to have an 85% win ratio, put in TP1, right? You do that 8 out of 10 times, you're going to win on that trade. Very, very simple process, not complicated. You just have to set your broker up. And I recommend, like I said, you always want to practice with a demo account before you do anything new. So we would actually set you up on a demo account. Again, I'm doing this to give you an idea that there is money out here in the market. And if you're not doing this, you're missing money. This is probably, in all reality, if you didn't have a lot of time in the day, you can grab and sit down. It takes 45 seconds to do this. We're not talking all day long. It's literally, I'll walk you through it. The trade comes in, I come in and I tap on gold. I hit the trade button. I come up here and I hit buy or sell. Boom. I then go back. I hit on it again because it's running. I'm going to tap on it. Then I'm going to hit modify and I'm going to go in and I'm going to type in my numbers. The TP1 would be 2167. And then I'm going to tap the modify button and I'm off and running. Of course, I've got to put in my stop loss before I do that. So I'm going to put in my stop loss and my TP1. I hit boom. I'm done. I lay my phone down and I walk away, and I know I have an 85% chance that I'm going to win on that every single time. Can't get any easier than that, right? It can't get any other easier than that unless, of course, you push the buy button instead of the sell button, or you're not paying attention, or you're not paying attention to details. Instead of putting in 2167, you put in 2187. I did that on a trade yesterday when I was scalping the NAS. I put an extra 0 in it. And I'm like, I know that it hit my take profit, but it didn't close it out. And I'm looking at it and I was like, put in the wrong number. Put in that, not a big deal. Ended up getting the win anyway, but it's just one of those things you got to pay attention when you're putting the numbers into your software. Double validate them. The worst thing that can happen is if you put them in wrong, just come and close the trade and re-enter it. You might lose a little bit on that move, but it's better to lose a little bit to catch your mistake than just not pay attention to detail and end up losing a lot of money. So if you'd like to come out, does anybody have any questions? I know Martin and Bill are on here. Do you guys have any questions before we bounce and jump out of this? Again, I want to go back. I'm going to talk a little bit about scalping really quick. And I want to make sure that you understood this is clear. If you're going to scalp, and this is Forrest speaking, again, I use Heikinaichi candles because they're trend following candles. I like to scalp with the trend. So I typically wouldn't take a counter trend move in terms of a scalp. Now you can, because this is a 1 minute move. It might have just done this for the rest of the day. I'm okay with that, right? I would rather win than lose, but I know that it's trending. I know there's a zone right here based on where price came before. And just when you do this long enough, you just know that price doesn't do anything different. It goes up and it goes down and it goes sideways. And when it's going up and down, it comes to areas of support and resistance and hangs out there for a little bit. And then it might go through it. And if it busts through it, then it's going to go to the next level. Right? It just does that over and over and over and over. Every trainer that you've ever watched, every educator that you ever watched will tell you the same thing. If it does this and then this and then this, it's going to go here. If it does this and this and this and this, and it's going to go here. It does it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And just like Ralph was saying on the training, you want to trade with the trend. If we roll all the way out to the 4 hour, you can see that overall US 30 is basically in an uptrend, although on the 1 minute, there's some little bitty downtrends here, right? If we roll this out and if we scope way out, it's trending up. And then, of course, you can catch the news and all kinds of other stuff. But you're going to learn that in class. If you decide you want to enroll in the academy, reach out to me or one of these guys here, and they can get you some information on getting enrolled into the academy. Not a problem at all. If you're brand new, that's the perfect place to be, because we will take you from the very, very bottom and get you going. I just want to challenge you this. If you decide to learn how to trade, whether you enroll with us or you enroll with anyone else, right? Phone dropped. Somebody said phone dropped. Okay. Oh, that was Martin. Okay. Not a problem at all. All right. I just want to make sure you can still hear me. So if you decide to get enrolled into the academy, I want you to say this, whether it's with us or with any other online platform that's teaching you how to trade, give yourself some grace. Put some time on your calendar, just like you were going to go to college. Try to find 3 to 5 hours a week that you can plug in and learn and practice and learn and practice and learn and practice and learn and practice, and take your time to get educated. I literally traded on a demo account for 18 months before I went live. 18 months before I went live. And I'm being this to tell you this transparent, because I wanted to make sure that my green brain connected to what I was looking at. And then I had to find a style that worked for me. And then I found a really cool educator named Aaron who taught a fast system that really connected with my brain, right? Practice is what I always say. I must be Bawalia. Practice, right? And it's when you do that, it's going to just become habit. It's like with anything. You're learning how to play golf. You're learning how to fish. You're learning how to shoot. You're learning how to drive. You're learning martial arts, whatever it is. It takes practice before you're going to get in the ring and really go live, right? Everything takes practice, right? I don't know how much practice Tiger Woods did before he became a really, really good golfer. I don't know how many practice time that Michael Jordan did before he became a really good basketball player. And even not when we're talking about super famous people, we're just talking about regular professional golfers and basketball players. How much practice do they have before they actually get to the big game, right? It's a lot of practice, and we got to do the same thing. Give yourself some grace to learn this stuff. You're not going to learn it in a short amount of time. My first 6 weeks, my mind was like, ugh, right? Maybe it's because I was 57 when I started. I don't know. But give yourself some grace. Give yourself some time to practice. And then when I went live with a $500 account. And my goal at the time was every time I wanted to do 30 trades, not 30 days in a row, but I wanted to do 30 trades and win $25 a trade. I knew once I did that, and then I would bump it to 100 and so on and so forth. So give yourself some grace and time to do this, because 3 years from now, you'll look back and say, oh my God, I'm so glad that I actually took the time to learn how to do this. I took the time to learn how to practice. I took the time to hang out with a really cool community of people. And it might not be, right? There's not, every style is not for everybody. When I started out learning how to, trying to learn how to trade wrinkled bricks, which still can't wrap my head around that. But there's some guys that trade that. There's some other guys that do what they call bare naked trading, where they don't use any indicators at all. Nah. And then there's a couple of guys, they use the cloud and some other indicators. And there's all kinds of stuff out there. There's so much stuff they can get out there and crazy. And then there's all this other hypey stuff that says, oh, if you just buy our software, it'll trade for you and you'll make millions of dollars. I'm just going to leave that right there and just say probably not. Now, I'll say that we do have a software that we did a beta test on recently that's getting ready to launch here in the next couple of weeks that will trade for you. But I can tell you this, I can out trade that software all day long. So I'm not going to turn it off when I get it going. I'm going to turn it on, because if I got a little software out there that's making me a little bit of money on the extra side without me doing nothing, I'm going to take it. But it's not going to be able to trade as well as or as much as I make the determinations that I can based on what I do. So I just want to throw that in there. It's nice to have a little helper on the side, going out collecting a little extra cash, right? I'll take that all day long, but I'm not going to just rely my entire trading income on that. And here's the thing about that is, since I know how to trade, if something would happen with that AI bot, that the government comes in and says, you can't use AI bots to trade, that's illegal. If it goes away, guess what? I'm at zero, because I never learned the basics in learning how to trade, right? So if you learn the skill, right, you can add stuff on the outside to be able to trade. And if you're an old dude like me and you're thinking, man, I want a really cool side hustle, right? I can basically learn how to use a phone. I can learn how to look at a chart. Forrest said he's going to teach me how to do that. I've got some really cool academy that I can roll into it and get the basics down. But if you can open up your phone, you can take the trade idea that I showed you earlier. You can enter some numbers just like I shared with you, and you can hit the go button. Then you can learn how to just put your phone down and go and let it run. And when it closes, you come back and look at your phone, and it's like you got a little bit of money, and you're like, ooh, that worked. That felt pretty good, right? Right, Martin? Right? Cool deal. I know Bill is brand new with us, so I don't know if he has a testimony to that yet. But again, it's a really, really good feeling when you can get and just go through that and just practice. And we'll show you how to practice for a while till you get comfortable, so you can get really, really good at it. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have an absolutely awesome, awesome week. If you want to get enrolled into the academy, reach out to me or one of these guys, and we'll get you hooked up. We'll get you enrolled into the academy for sure. Get you set up. We'll walk you through the dashboard, show you where to go, get all that stuff set up, help you set up your software, help everything get set up, and get you pointed in the right direction. If you'd like to come and scalp the NAS 100 with me and a couple of other people tomorrow morning, more than a couple, but if you'd like to come and scalp the NAS 100 with me tomorrow morning at 8:20 Central Standard Time, get with me today so we can get you enrolled, so you can come and hang out with us. And just come and hang out and see how much fun it is. It's very, very cool. And again, in that NAS 100, I'm going to do another pitch here. The educator comes in and says, and this is really cool, he's scalping, but he's scalping NAS 100. He says, enter here, take your profit here. All you've got to do is open up your phone. That is dropped on the floor. Open up your phone, enter in the numbers, and hit the buy or the sell button, and put your phone down, and you're good to go. It can't really be any easier than that. Maybe, and we'll show you how to do that, right? I'll show you how to get really, really good at doing that, shy of dropping your phone on the floor. You don't want to do that in the middle of a trade, because who knows what would happen, right? Anyway, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Jesus loves you. Absolutely nothing you can do about that. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators and help you guys make a lot of money. Make sure you get with one of us so we can get you enrolled into the academy and get you all set up. Appreciate you guys. Have a good Wednesday. Bye-bye.